Okay, Kyla, what I do is I set up the 3 little bowls first. When you're doing the soda, you want heaping teaspoons, big heaping teaspoons. And then with the butter, you use 1/4 of a stick, or in this case, I get half sticks, so I'm using a half. And you cut that up so it'll melt easier. I have a hot plate sort of thing that I put the butter on, but you can do this in the microwave and you just want it just melted. So I start off at about 15 seconds to see if it's going to melt. The vanilla is a tablespoon, and I usually end up with a tad more because it spills. So that didn't melt it, so I'll try another 15 on that. I've already put the peanuts in. This will be 1 of your bags of peanuts, and you just put a dash to a salt. And then the sugar, I have a 2-cup thing that I put the sugar in. You don't have to be that careful that it is precisely 2 cups. And after that, you put in the Karo syrup, which is 1 cup. I'm usually making 4 recipes at a time, so I don't have anything left in the bottle, but one of these bottles is 2 cups. So if you're doing 2 recipes, you would put 1 cup in and then just pour the rest of it in the second batch. Now we'll see if this is melted. I'm gonna give it another 5 seconds. Whoop, not 55 seconds, 5 seconds. You will want to line these up so that it goes butter, vanilla, soda, because that's the order in which you're going to put them in. Now that I have put all this in, this can go in the microwave. I don't try to stir it up at this point, because once it starts to cook, it's much easier to stir it up. And on my microwave, I start off with 1:45 seconds for the first batch. You'll probably have to start off at 12 minutes or 12 minutes, 15 seconds. You grease the pan with unsalted butter. And it's very important on greasing the pan that you then make sure it gets all the way to the edges, but you don't want a whole lot. So we'll see when I get this finished if Doug can show you the shine. If you have too much butter, it will tend to stick. If you use butter that is not unsalted, that will definitely burn. So I do it and then I wipe off as much as I can. So it's just a sheen. Can you see that, Doug? I don't know if you can.
Yeah, you can see that.
You just want a bare sheen of it. Now that makes the pans ready to go. The rest of this has to wait for, I go down to 8 minutes and then I stir it. Can you stop that and then restart it? Counting down from where you start to 8 minutes, it doesn't matter if it's 8 minutes or 8 minutes and 20 seconds or whatever. You take it out and it'll look kind of bubbly on the sides. You then stir it up, and when you're stirring it, you always make sure you go through the middle. You go around the edges too, but through the middle, because microwaves will tend to have hot spots in the middle. The reason you have a knife is to scrape all this off, and then you put it back in the microwave, and when the time hits 5 minutes, we will stir it again. Okay, the next time you stir it is when it's somewhere around 5 minutes left. So I'm going to do it 5 minutes, 20 seconds. This pan will start to get hot. The next time around, I'll have to use a hot pan. But I goes through the middle, and you can see how it tries to lump up. You just want it well mixed. You smooth it off and put it back in. We will do it next at around 2 minutes. We're going all the way to 2 minutes at this point. One way to take the pan out of the microwave is that you should have a spout on one side, a hot plate on the other. You stir it up again, and because you're going to have to figure out the timing on yours, at 2 minutes, it should be doing that, strings in between. If it's not doing that, then you probably aren't at the 2 minute stage. But we go back in for the rest of the time. Then it will be finished.
You should also see, Kyla, what Grandma Ann has been doing today. Sorry, we can't share that with you over the airways.
Have you started?
Yes.
This last time, when you're taking it out, you definitely want to use hot pan and spoon to take it out. You stir through the center to begin with before you add the butter, the vanilla, and the soda. That's because you will get a big thick thing in the center if you don't. If you do have an area that looks like it's got a hard place, you just knock it apart and stir it. But it's going to start foaming up. One of the mistakes that people make with this is that they try to pour it and then spread it, and you don't do that. You just pour it out on the pan. It will spread itself to however far it wants to go. There's a lot of that left. And then that is it until it is completely cool. And at that point, when the bottom of the pan is completely cool, you can twist the pan to break it, or you can put a spatula under the edge, and you want to flip it over and pound, hit it with the base of a spoon on the back to break it up. If you try breaking it up on the front, it will just crumble. Okay, when it's cool, you should be able to run your hand underneath it and it'll feel cool. If you take it, you can break it like that. And then what I mean by turning it over, you should turn it over and break it from the back side. If you tried to break it from the front, it would just shatter. And that's how you make it.